I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. This is the start of our annual meeting, March 6, 2024, at 7 p.m. Approval of the agenda as presented.
Motion to approve the annual meeting agenda.
Second.
Seconded by Mark. All in favor?
Aye.
Approval of last year's March 1st, 2023 minutes for the annual meeting. You should have a copy with your information.
Motion to approve. Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by, I heard Butch. Seconded by Mark.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Year-end report given by supervisor. All right. So, Perry Township 2023-2024 year-end report. Perry Township continues to be in sound financial standing. The Township Board works well, very well together, and we all are working toward keeping Perry Township in good, sound physical condition, as well as providing outstanding service to our residents. During the last fiscal year, Perry Township had a fiscal budget of $455,000, which included $219,900 from ARPA federal relief funding. Our revenue sharing from the state of Michigan was above what we had anticipated. Despite the economic and social conditions that exist in 2023, we received $330,000 from the state of Michigan for our budget. We completed all road projects which were approved by the Township Board, including asphalt paving with chip seal and Rose Boulevard, shared costs with the DDA, and asphalt and gravel road maintenance projects throughout the township. 2 applications of mineral well brine were applied on several gravel roads in the township. The township has worked very well with the road commission over the past several years. The 2023 Perry Township audit was conducted and deemed acceptable. The Perry Township DDA Board reappointed Stacy Matthews to a new 4-year term. The Township Board accepted 2 resignations from the DDA Board. 2 new members, Phil Milliken and Jan Knapp, were approved by the Board for the DDA. The Township and the City of Perry are continuing to seek the federal grant application through the Senator Gary Peters' office in Washington for the extension of the city water line from the City of Perry near the Family Dollar Store east along Lansing Road to Bennett Drive and south along Bennett and west along Britton Road to tie back into the water system near the high school. Our SEDP, our Southwest Economic Development Partnership, continuing to assist us with the application process. The DDA welcomed to our township new businesses on Bennett Drive. Also, Lifetime Metal Sales Company built a new 25,000 square foot facility that will house both the sales and manufacturing functions. The Planning Commission met 8 times last year. Their primary focus was a revision of the Township Master Plan, which was adopted August 17, 2023. Our Township Clerk and all the election workers did an excellent job with the school election on August 8, 2023. And finally, the Board of Review met during its normal schedule in March, July, and December 2023 at the Township Hall. All members of the Board of Review attended their required training as outlined by the state of Michigan. All in all, it was a very productive year in 2023. Respectfully submitted, Mark Hall. Your report. Public comments? Okay. Salary resolutions.
Okay, so this is where we have to approve the salary resolutions that the board recommended to go to the electors at the annual meeting. The proposals from the Township Board were to move the supervisor and treasurer from $22,000 to $24,000 a year, and the clerk from $22,000 a year to $30,000 a year. And so I will make the first motion to move the supervisor's salary at $24,000 a year.
Okay.
Second.
Troy, and seconded by Butch. Okay, all in favor with a hand vote? Including the public.
You get to vote on this, Tom, if you want. This is the annual meeting, so.
Thank you.
Motion.
Forgot I live here.
Second.
I forgot that I live here.
That's okay, that's okay. Next, the salary resolution is acted upon by the Township Board to have the salary increase for the clerk to $30,000. So I need to have that motion.
I'll make that motion.
Mark has made that motion.
Second.
Seconded by Butch. Again, we're going to have a hand vote. All in favor? Raise your hand. Thank you. All opposed? Okay. Thank you. And the third salary resolution is acted upon by the Township Board to have the salary increase this year to $24,000 for the treasurer.
I'll move to make that.
Kelly, Kelly has made that motion. I'll second it. Okay, all in favor with a hand vote, including the public. Okay, thank you. All right, all passed. Okay, excellent. Any other business coming before the board? Kelly, Mark, Butch?
Motion to adjourn the annual meeting and go into the budget hearing.
Second.
What time is it?
7:07.
7:07 p.m. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, Butch,
You're gonna wait a minute?
Huh?
You're gonna wait a minute?
For what?
7:08.
7:08, okay, open the budget hearing.
All right, so presentation of the budget. So in front of you, and there's copies over there on the table if you didn't get one, Tom, is our proposed budgets for the year. First 3 pages are the general fund, which we worked on in our budget workshop. Incorporates our estimated revenues and all the expenses we went over in there. There's nothing really out of the ordinary on that budget. It's pretty consistent year to year. The next one is the DDA budget, and that one was approved by the DDA board at their meeting, and then we have to confirm it. That one, there wasn't really a lot of changes other than they did add a line for capital outlay for lights. Which, Mark, I think you said they were looking at maybe just doing some upgrades or
Better drive.
on Better Drive.
Yeah, they took money, $40,000 out of the road fund to top that first account in the expense line. So it's down to $10,000 instead of $50,000.
Next one is the sewer fund. This is simply money coming in and going out. I just will throw out, this isn't something we have to do tonight. We probably are going to have a discussion about our sewer rates. You know, I mean, they've literally been the same since 1992. And, you know, we're starting to have to, maintenance like that. And the flow meter was $10,000. You know, who knows when we'll have to do some work on that pump station, and, you know, our reserves are starting to go down a little bit there. So that's something we'll need to talk about during the year. Next one is the special assessment fund. That is simply money coming in and then going back out for special assessments. Roselawn, that's the perpetual care fund. Improvement, investment, and land and building, those are simply reserves. You'll notice in the investment fund there is a income line item there for the money we'll start getting back from our fire truck leases, which starts later this month. And we have the road fund, which is simply our savings account for roads, and as we talked about, we're building that up for next year, hopefully, when the Morris Road project does, so we can piggyback on those other roads with it. And finally, the last page is the ARPA fund, which will have $20,000 left in it when we start this next fiscal year, which we have proposed to transfer into the general fund. I think talk about doing some hall improvements, you know, and such with it, because that all has to be allocated by the December 31st of 24.
End of this year. Now,
Calendar year.
We did use some ARP money for the fire trucks to help
Correct.
save
So
that.
this is 20,000. There's 40,000 in the account right now. I've got to transfer some because we used ARPA money for, well, we did the fire trucks, but we also did a couple projects here. What was it? The drain, work in the parking lot, and the landscaping.
Yep.
So that is the proposed budgets. so we need to open it for any comments.
Okay, Troy, very clear. Any comments? Okay, any other comments? No? Okay, adoption of the budget ordinance to establish a general appropriation act.
So the 2024-2025 budget and ordinance to establish a general appropriations act for Perry Township will need to be approved with 1 mil as reduced by the Headley rollback to be levied. Need a motion for that.
I'll make that motion.
Troy,
I'll second.
Butch, second, okay. Roll call vote, Kelly.
Troy Parmalee?
Yes.
Mark Foltz?
Yes.
Mark Frazier?
Yes.
Francis Griffith?
Yes.
Kelly Schmidt, yes.
Okay. Troy, Kelly, anything else?
Nope.
Anything else? Okay.
Motion to close the budget hearing and move into the regular meeting.
What time is it?
7:12. I'll second that.
Okay, Kelly seconded. Okay, excellent. Okay, the folder is closed. Moving on, next folder. All right. So we'll call the meeting to order. Kelly, what time is it? 7:12. 12. I guess roll call vote first.
Mark Foltz?
Yes.
Mark Frazier?
Yes.
Francis Griffith?
Yes.
Troy Parmalee?
Here.
Kelly Schmidt?
Okay. Kelly's worked on the agenda quite a bit today. It probably is completely done, right? No, nothing to add?
Nope, no.
Okay.
It's pretty long.
It's as presented, guys. February 7th, we had the regular meeting. February 13th, we had the budget workshop session here at the Township. You should have those minutes before you.
We need to approve the
I said we need to
agenda.
vote on the agenda.
And so we-
Motion to
Oh,
approve the agenda.
Troy, okay.
I'll second that.
Who wants to second that? Mark?
Kelly.
Oh, Kelly, okay. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next on the agenda, the minutes. the meeting
Motion
minutes.
to approve the February 7th and February 13th minutes.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Butch. Troy made the motion. Butch, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Public comment, first time. Okay, sheriff's report.
All right, sheriff's report. Last month there were 148 calls for service. 70 of them were traffic stops.
Probably not in the city of Perry.
No, this is just.
No, this is just in the town.
They wait till they get out. Okay. All right. Thank you. CISA. Mark.
Well,
Yes.
things are moving forward, but we have lost 2 contracts on the ambulance. We
Durant.
lost Shiawassee Township, and then we lost City of Durant because they couldn't pass their millage last Tuesday, so, yesterday, or whatever. They were unable to, Headley overrides a tough one to pass, and they were unable to make that go through by quite a white margin, so. We don't know where we're headed now on that. But we do have, in the process of a number of contracts with, like Pleasant View and Grand Senior Center and Memorial Hospital for transporting patients, which is more dependable money, I guess you could say. So that will probably replace that 12-hour car.
So we're in very preliminary discussions with LSW about working out something there with EMS, and if that can come to fruition, we will basically be able to shuffle that extra rig around just to the other side of the county. So,
Well, actually, we're getting equipment if we get that deal, so.
yeah, that deal's a long ways from done, but it's,
Right.
if it works out, it will be helpful, but, yeah, I mean, otherwise, financially, things are very, very tight. Very tight. There, just to point out in your packet, from there's some new graphs and stuff you can look at when you have time. You know, there's a response time chart comparing this year to last year by municipality. There's, call types. You can see you know, what kind of fire calls do we respond to? You know, that sort of thing. So just when you have a chance to look at. You see our largest fire call volume is assisting EMS.
I see that.
So,
Okay, anything else, Mark? That's it? Our DDA did meet February 21st, and we had our required informational meeting on different activities where the chairman, Bob Bureau, basically discussed the repayment project on Rose Boulevard, the completion. Noted we still have consumers' issues with the light poles. I was told to get a hold of them. I did get a hold of the gentleman, Raphael, this last week. He called me, thanks to Justin prodding him. He called me and had me get in contact with Gabe, who is the light coordinator for the state of Michigan. Gabe is on vacation this week, but he's going to get a hold of me Monday or Tuesday, and we're going to so come here, we're going to look at the lights on Bennett Drive. He's going to give me 2 estimates, one for poles that are readily available, and one for poles that might be a little more aesthetic, but they might be a little longer lead time.
5 years out.
We'll let the DDA board make that decision on that. We had the treasurer's report, which was in 2 reports really, because we missed January's meeting. Troy actually did 2 different statements, but we got $284,000 with a balance of $284,000. They did call, asked Troy, who was working actually at the time, to come in and speak about moving some of that money into a CD. Troy explained to them that can be done, and he was going to help up to a 12-month CD, 9-month, 12-month, or whatever, and they had a specific amount that they wanted to roll over.
I hope you put that in the minutes, because I don't remember what it was.
Well, I did. I did. It was new business. But the board discussed the possible moving up to $200,000 to higher interest and check various rates for up to a 12 months. So Chris seconded the motion. So and we had 2 members who were re-upped. Joe Audia re-upped and Brian Feifel re-upped for membership to continue on, and possible new members we're going to talk about later on. So that was our DDAs. Zoning, this is January, we didn't have a February. I'm not sure if the zoning commission took a month off, or if there was some other reasons that they didn't decide to print or send us or even email us a copy of anything, but maybe nothing happened. I don't know. So that's a question mark that has to be answered, and I haven't had time to call on. So that's that. Mr. Commissioner.
Sure.
Hi.
Good evening. Congratulations to Perry Township on the wonderful sounding report you gave, kind of summing up last year. We did get today, this morning, a decision on zoning matters involving the Davis effort to put in a mineral extraction activity on Church Road, Beardsley Road area, and the circuit court judge, Matt Stewart, decided favorably to the ZBA zoning Board of Appeals. I quickly read through the decision. He pointed out on several issues that the Davises attempted to present. They didn't present anything to support it, so Judge Stewart basically didn't have to deal with it, and he found that there was substantial and competent material evidence to support the ZBA decision. So, and that was favorable to Perry Township, so that was good. The other,
So is that pretty well dead then, do you think now, or?
I believe so. I looked at it, it would be difficult to appeal. Appeals to the Court of Appeals, it would be difficult because basically what the judge said, their brief I mean, Judge Stewart decided it without having any oral argument. Usually, you know, an attorney in court has two methods of getting his point across. One is to verbally present it to the court, the other is his written brief. And Judge Stewart really said they didn't, other than the one issue, only one issue. There are 4 possible issues they could raise to overturn his ZBA decision, and they only presented a case on one of them, which was whether there was competent material and substantial evidence on the whole record. And so it was very favorable to the township. I would hate to have to take that case on to try to appeal it because you're limited in what's in the record right now. Another thing that I don't know what your experience is out here, or if you and the township board is getting any information, because it would be through the public health, county health department, but I did attend a conference or a meeting about a week ago dealing with the opioid epidemic issues. And one of the things that really kind of startled me at this meeting, I was not aware of it, is that, for example, everybody hears about fentanyl and how it is, and this is non-scientific, but I'm kind of summarizing the way it was presented, that if you started kind of a baseline of heroin, the danger of heroin, fentanyl is, just roughly speaking, 100 times as dangerous as heroin is. But there was, the gentleman who was making this presentation was from an organization that treats, actually he was turns out he was a former heroin addict himself, but he's from an organization that treats people that are subjected, drug addicted. In kind of almost an aside in his presentation, he said there are some new types of chemicals coming into this country that are hundreds of times more dangerous than fentanyl. And I mean, I was really taken aback by that. I mean, what's available for people to subject themselves to is just so dangerous. I mean, things could happen to them that they would not have any impression. So I don't know if you receive any data on the number of people in the township that are addicted or that are injured by fentanyl, for example. I presume that's the county data, I don't know, but I think for all levels of government, this is really a disturbing thing, especially with our border is wide open, our Mexican border and the Canadian border too being so permeable that it really is a dangerous thing. So I would just bring that, we'll be looking at it from the county level, but I think you, if you hear anything or anything develops, I'd like to be aware of it and discuss it with Larry Johnson. And so that's, I guess those are the two primary things.
Okay, all right. Okay. All
I'm
right.
going to run over to Woodhull. So any questions for me?
Thanks, Tom.
Yep.
Have a good one, Tom. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, the library, Mark.
Their big point of thing, and I don't have any paper notes.
Okay.
The grant was approved in Burns Township, Byron, for a new township hall and the libraries to get moved from the school to the township hall, which is a good thing for the library because their hours were dictated by the school's hours. And when the school was out on vacation, the library wasn't available. So
This is good.
this is going to be a big thing for the library.
Okay. I-69 trade.
We did not have a meeting, there was no agenda items needed.
Okay. Mark, back to the SEDP.
Justin received about 3-4 weeks ago from the largest real estate firm in the county, I can't remember a request for information about joining SEDP, and they've never expressed an interest before. But because of all the housing work that is being done by our organization now, they feel it's important, and they listened to Justin's presentation, called him back a few days later, and want in at the $5,000 level, which gives them a seat on the board, which is what they wanted,
Okay.
which meant we had a full board. So the executive committee met by phone, and we decided to request a bylaw change to the membership of the board to change the amount of members of the board from 25 to 29. And that's probably going to come up at the next meeting. And one of the things, though, that's a problem is that every month we're counting to make sure we have a quorum. And it seems to be the same people coming, like all organizations, and the same people that don't come. And we do have a attendance policy in the organization. We're going to have to start enforcing it more. Getting the members to have alternates to be able to cover meetings for them, because it's a problem. Because to change those bylaws, it takes a supermajority. And if we have a tough time getting a quorum, it's going to be really tough to get a supermajority. So
We have the same problem at I-69. I mean, we have to have 15 or something for a quorum, and we struggle every time. And right, I mean, we go through it and basically say, if you don't want to be on the board, just say so, right? And so what our policy was is, if you didn't have a current appointed representative, like send out a form for all the municipalities, say who they're represented. If you don't have a current appointed one, you're still a member, but you don't count against our quorum, because there's no quorum. Well, the ones that never send anybody, they fill that out, and they have some, oh yes, we're appointed, and then they never come.
Yep. Well,
So yeah, you just have to start getting strict on it.
We're having a little bit of a struggle getting all this in motion right this minute, because that military plane that went down in California that had 5 deaths or whatever about a month ago.
Oh, yeah.
One of those was Brian Marks' nephew, and he's the chairman of the board, so he's been occupied otherwise, kind of. But we're moving forward. I mean, it is amazing the grants and things that we've been able to secure for people in municipalities and things, just like the one for Burns. That's been a big thing for the area, the amount of money coming in. And SEDP was behind starting the land bank and so forth, and that's brought in $1 million in blight grant stuff, and so it's become a very powerful or very useful organization. So.
Okay. And the planning commission.
You want me to read this annual report now? Well, that's later on.
You do not need to read it by any means.
No.
That's good.
And honestly, I thought Dwayne Wood was going to be here.
Yeah, well, I didn't realize that he texted me earlier and wanted to ride, so.
Oh, okay.
So, that's
Well,
sort of my fault, I guess.
yeah, we can talk about that later.
Well, that's on the list anyway.
It's on our agenda.
Yeah.
Planning Commission, we worked more on the zoning ordinance. A lot of what we've been discussing lately is this action by the state to take over the zoning of the solar installations and the wind installations, and what that means to us and trying to define what those rules really are and what we have to have in place in a zoning ordinance if we do need to enact that. So, and it's funny, the way they wrote that, you just don't have to have something in place, so do the ones that touch your borders. They've really loaded that. But at any rate, that's what we've been basically working on. I don't think we did any other business at the last meeting.
Okay. Mark, thanks. Okay, financial report, pay the bills.
Okay, you got your bills list in front of you. On that bill for the road commission for the crack seal on Morris Road. So,
Oh, yeah.
I'd never gotten a bill, and so I inquired about it, and they said, well, it was just a little more than our contribution they were going to make, so they just waived the whole thing, because they kick in 30,000 for projects, and it came to 32, so they just took care of the whole thing. So that's why it just shows on there as, but there was no,
It's like an in and out.
it's in and out.
Yeah.
That was last year's contribution to it?
It will.
Yeah,
Ours
for-
is 35 this year.
Right, it's up to 35 this year, but that was last year, so it was 30.
last year. And they didn't even, and I knew they were going to do that. He was just going to call it even, but he evidently didn't write a bill.
Well, I didn't know he was gonna do that, and I thought there was a bill still outstanding, so. We have our election bills. Then, we did receive our last check of the fiscal year for revenue sharing.
56.
Yep. And then we've, of course, got property taxes coming in. There's still some more property taxes that'll come in.
Sure.
That's still being transferred into the general fund.
Do we get any dog license money?
No, because we did not sell dog licenses this year.
But did we ever in the past?
Yes.
So did they get, does that mean we don't get any?
That's correct.
Oh, okay.
It was $300, don't.
Oh, it was for the.
I mean, it wasn't going to break us, but it was an inconvenience to the residents.
Yeah, well, they can pay that, I want to say this on air, they can call and they can.
It's too late now.
You know, oh, it's deadlines.
Oh, they can still pay it,
But
but
they-
it's double.
That's double, but they can pay it online, they can give them a credit card.
Well, they can do it on the phone.
Yeah, they do it on the phone. Anyway, financial report, pay the bills. Can I, should I make a motion?
Motion. Pay the
You
bills.
want a second?
Yep.
Mark? Okay, Rich just made a motion, seconded by Mark, roll call vote, Kelly.
Mark Folks?
Yes.
Mark Frazier?
Yes.
Francis Griffith?
Yes.
Kelly Schmidt, yes, Mark Armstrong.
Yes.
Correspondence.
Um,
Anybody have any correspondence? No. No.
The only thing I was going to mention is we do have a little bit of a dispute going on that I don't know where it's going to go regarding the new building, Spartan fence built in the industrial park. I don't know where this is going. They hooked into our sewer system without paying the sewer
I
tax.
understand that that's been settled and that Mallory Construction is writing the check for it.
Well, no one has yet to write us a check.
Okay.
And I've talked to them 2 or 3 times this week.
So, I mean, I have involved their time, because they sold it, and this isn't fair to screw up the new person that bought it. I mean, this is technically illegal, right? I mean, this is public health code violations and everything else.
And Lindsay, she's a great gal, she actually wrote a letter from the DVA in support of the water line.
But nonetheless,
Yesterday, Justin picked it up from her.
one of them, for that matter, someone there is going to take care of it, and we've been having some problems with the former owner not wanting. So I notified their title company that they didn't have clear title, and that may be moving things around.
Works had to be completed.
So anyway, if you hear things, that's what's going on. They owe us $5,200 and some dollars, and the other problem is that was never inspected. It was just done. They bored under Bennett Drive. They never pulled permits from the road commission. The road commission's gone after them.
Oh,
I mean, this was
There's 3 permits. They did one on the 15th of February, only because the road commission called them and they went up, they went down and paid the $70.
it also doesn't reflect good on the contractor who did the building.
Oh.
That it's someone who apparently doesn't follow the rules.
And they did call, Mallory didn't call me back, but Phil did. And then Phil, we had our meeting.
Yeah, they wanted to play let's make a deal on this. And the deal is I haven't assessed them penalties and
That's
interest.
true, that's true.
That's the deal.
So far, there's no penalty.
Yeah.
On 5,000.
Yeah.
So just in case you hear something, that's what's going on.
Okay.
Anyway, and there was a little bit of correspondence or announcements or whatever. Unfinished business. Okay, our road project has finally got the red have turned to black, so our potential projects are outlined in your, if you've got a final report, do you have a final mark in your file? You should have.
No, I've got this.
We'll take this one. But we have a final report, and it's, we're within the budget. If we want to do all of them, I think Troy said we had enough money.
Yeah, so it worked out well. I mean, the total of the list is 154.3, and we had, you know, when we did the budget, well, 154.3 is what we had in the budget, and this was a smidge under that. So
We can do all of them.
So we can do the whole list and
Does
have
that
one.
affect our project for next year?
I don't think so, because we've got the road fund, and then we're gonna talk a little bit further down here on the end of year transfers, because we had extra from this year's road budget.
We
So-
didn't spend as much this year. So,
I mean, my suggestion would be we do the list,
and
but
mine too. Soon we get everything signed up and get them started.
I'll make that motion.
Mark made a motion to approve the road project as shown, seconded by Butch.
Yes.
Roll call vote.
Mark Frazier.
Yes.
Francis Griffin.
Yes.
Kelly Schmidt, yes. Ray Farmley.
yes.
Mark Foltz.
Yes. Okay, Dwayne's not here, but new business, planning commission annual report. A little document was put together, and
You want me just to,
note some of it?
just to highlight part of it?
Yeah.
Big things we did last year. We did the master plan update, which we're required to do every so often by law, but it was a phenomenally detailed update that was done. It was much better than what was done the previous time, and it really covered a lot of pitfalls and stuff. Got involved in the mining operation that Tom talked about earlier. Had been working on the zoning, possible zoning ordinance in case we are forced to take over that part of the thing. And basically, other than, the normal election of officers and, letters that we sent out about the renewable energy stuff and the mining, and the state wants to take over all those controls that and that's pretty much it.
Okay.
I make a motion to accept the planning commission's annual report.
Okay, I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, okay. Planning commission bylaws update. Kelly, are you gonna go?
That's something Dwayne had called and told me that you were gonna do.
Was there some
so I
bylaws
guess-
updates you wanted to do?
Nobody else seems to know anything about this, so.
Alright,
He called that, no,
we'll
all right,
take that
we'll
off.
hold that.
They were talking about some things that John last week, but I didn't think we were ready to
Act on anything?
act
Okay.
on it. Yeah, but maybe-
They were kicking around several ideas, weren't they, when I took notes? Okay.
Yeah, well, they have another idea too that they want to do. They would like to put some kind of a monument up someplace that could then have plaques on it to honor people that have passed away that served Township. Saying it came up because of Sandy, Sid, and so forth. And I said, well, guys, before you get too deep into this, maybe you should talk to the Township Board, because they control for the citizens of the township, they control township property, and they need to have their input into where you might place this and what might be going on. So it's just something to keep in the back of your head that as they move forward.
And they've actually discussed that off the record at both meetings. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, we're gonna go with Kelly, FOIA cost itemization update. FOIA cost itemization, there should be something in your packet with a big
Oh,
black
no.
line on top.
Did you have it? Yep, I guess
This
you
one,
did.
right there.
Okay.
You got that? Big black line on top?
So basically, we have to change the hourly wage every year when the wages of our deputies, because they're the lowest paid that can do the research. So we have to update the amount every year when their wages go up, we have to update that too.
And we can only charge what their wage is, correct?
The lowest wage, yes.
1950.
Motion to approve the FOIA cost update itemization.
Troy has made a motion.
Second.
Mark has seconded the motion. Kelly, roll call vote, please.
Mark Folks?
Yes.
Mark Frazier?
Yes.
Francis Griffith?
Yes.
Kelly Schmidt, yes. Ray Farmer?
Yes.
All right. Well, Kelly, while you take a breath, I'm just going to say, when the residents of Perry were paying their taxes, as we all do, a couple people came in, and Kay Smith was one of them, and she said that she would take Robert Taylor a letter of resignation to the DDA board, and it's just health issues and things, and he just wasn't going to. So she did that, and the next day she brought it back signed, and then she said, Mark, I'd like to be a member of the DDA board. And I said, well, let me go to my office, and so I wrote Kay Smith, and Kay.
They're brother and sister.
They're brother and
so
sister, so Kay.
She wasn't like railroading them out or
No,
anything.
no, no.
Yes.
She said I'd be happy to do that for you, because I haven't been able to contact him by phone. And so anyway, those two items are the next two items on our agenda.
Well, I'll make a motion, we accept the resignation of Robert Taylor.
Okay,
I'll second it.
okay, Troy, Kelly. Ready for a vote?
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, okay.
And I'll make a motion that we appoint Kay Smith to fill out the remainder of Robert Taylor's term.
I'll second.
Okay, Mark. All in favor?
That's a
No,
roll
that's
call.
a roll call.
Oh, roll call on that one, okay, sorry.
Kelly Schmidt, yes. Ray Farmer?
Yes.
Mark Folks?
Yes.
Mark Frazier?
Yes.
Francis Griffith?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. Now we've got something that, letter of resignation janitor. This is kind of close to Kelly's part, so let her start with that.
So we received a letter of resignation for the custodian from Mark Schmidt. So I'll make a motion to accept that resignation.
You do. What if we don't get a second?
Somebody's going to be cleaning.
I'll second that, but I would also like to say that Mark did an excellent job
Oh,
of
yes.
keeping this place looking nice.
He did.
Yes, he did.
It's funny
He still
because
does.
we had dinner tonight and he said, just tell him that I enjoyed cleaning toilets. Not.
Is that what he said? Oh. So Kelly's made the motion. Okay, and Butch
Yes.
seconded.
Mark seconded that.
Mark,
Butch seconded, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Maybe. Okay. All right, okay. Approval of the janitor hire. Kelly, you want to talk about that one?
so I had posted notices on the door in here and also in my window, and this man came in and paid his taxes and saw it in the window. And so he stopped in, he said, so you're hiring for a janitor? I said, yeah, are you interested? He said, yeah. So his name is Patrick Cerrone. He lives in the Village of Morris. And I walked him through everything, you know, as far as our hall rentals go, and, you know, gave him a list of what our expectations were, and he said, yeah, I would do that.
And the times.
Yep.
Times.
So, he was the only applicant.
We did have another one we thought we had, and she backed out.
There were a couple of them that we had talked to, and they're like, boy, I just don't know about the weekend thing, so.
Now, did you actually put this in the paper?
Oh, no.
Oh, we never got that far,
No.
okay. So we do have a person named, he goes by Pat, right?
Yep,
Goes by Pat. What's the board's pleasure?
Motion to approve the hiring of Patrick Cerrone
Troy will make that motion.
for the
Okay.
custodian.
Troy, okay.
I'll second.
Mark will second. Second by Mark, okay. Roll call vote, Kelly.
Troy Fairwell.
Yes.
Mark Folks.
Yes.
Mark Frazier.
Yes.
Francis Griffith.
Yes.
Kelly Schmidt.
Will you call them and tell them welcome?
Oh, yeah, you betcha. So he will
Tell
start,
Mark I'm sorry.
he will start April 1st.
Oh,
So Mark will do it until
April 4th,
the end of the year.
24, 4/1/24. Got it. Okay. April Fool's Day? You sure it's the first?
That's when he'll start.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, now we got one more for Kelly. We got,
Yep,
Orkin
so the Orkin
contract.
contract is up. And I called and asked them if they would still be able to do the service for the $83 a month, and they said yes, and they gave us like a 4% discount for a pay in full.
For what?
A pay in full.
Oh,
So it's basically just renewing for another 12 visits from
And what
them.
is the amount for paying full?
Amount is $956.16.
I make a motion that we pay in full.
Mark,
Second.
Butch. Roll call vote, Kelly.
Mark Folks.
Yes.
Art Frazier.
Yes.
Francis Griffin.
Yes.
Kelly Schmidt, yes. Terry Conley.
Yes.
Okay, you should have a large print, Prairie Township, our hours, board members, phone numbers, Tina.
It's the annual meeting,
Dates.
it's setting the meeting dates and time, and it looks,
Are the
moved
dates okay?
we moved August and November, right?
Right.
Oh, you got 2 in October.
Yeah, well,
Two in
we'll have
July.
2 in July.
2 in
and 2 in
July.
October. Now, I guess the other question is July 3rd, are you guys all good with meeting on July 3rd?
This is, now, wait a minute, are we talking about
Our
township board, and he said planning?
No, Township.
township board.
He did say planning commission, but he said it wrong.
Prairie
Yes.
Township board members.
Okay.
I said large print.
Do you want
So,
to move that July 3rd week?
that's up to you guys.
I'd leave it at the 3rd. Do you do, I mean, other than the 4th? What day is it on? What day is the 3rd on?
Well, it's obviously on a Wednesday.
Tuesday, Sunday?
It's on a Wednesday.
Oh, it's a Wednesday.
July 3rd is a
So
Wednesday.
it's the 4th.
What day of the week will we meet on?
Thursday. So let's do it on Wednesday. I think we'll just keep it on Wednesday.
Holy smokes. So, okay, so the question is, so July 3rd happens to be the first Wednesday. Do we want to move that or not? Is that a problem?
No problem with me. Kelly?
Yeah,
No?
that's fine.
Butch? No problem. Mark?
I don't see a problem.
July
I mean, we can always move it later if we got.
But why are we moving August though? Other
Because
than,
that's the day, because our August and November meetings would fall at the day after the election.
oh, I thought you were going to do it because of my birthday, August. Okay, well, okay.
No, it's because of the election, that way we can leave this place as kind of
A disaster.
a disaster
That's
area.
okay, I agree.
It took me about 4 hours to get it cleaned up.
Yeah,
Or
okay.
more.
And
So-
then, oh, and the same thing in November.
Right, so we'd be moving the August and November meetings back a week.
Yes.
All right, Prairie Township, our dates and times are.
So make a
7
motion
o'clock.
to approve the, setting the township board meeting times and dates for the fiscal year.
Seconded by
Second.
Butch. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now we go to the planning commission and their meetings, January 18th, February,
The
March.
third Thursday of each month at 7 p.m.
May, June, it's Thursday, right?
The discussion was, do we set just 4 meetings a year? Do we set them all? And I said, guys, why don't you just set them all and then
Right.
make sure we cancel them ahead of time if we don't need
Sure.
them. Right now, we're using it for writing zoning ordinance, but,
Yeah.
you know, that's,
Yeah. And the big thing is to let me know.
Well, let's,
Right.
one of the agenda items on, that he's not here on that bylaws was they were gonna add a column that everything had to be to her by the week, the Tuesday before the Thursday, remember?
right.
The Tuesday before
No,
the
the
Thursday.
week, a
week.
and Tuesday.
So you have a week and 2
before the
days.
Tuesday.
You're supposed to have everything by that Tuesday of the week before the Thursday. Okay. That- That was-
It
This
was
is the 4th of July, and we
unacceptable.
don't know what day the 4th of July is going to be.
That was all, that
It
was
was
all.
unacceptable to have agenda items coming in the day before the planning
Exactly. And they
commission.
all agreed on that too.
I mean, we can always add them like we always do with agendas, so why not finalize the agenda?
Well, plus it was pushing me to try to get an agenda together
Right.
until we can find a
Right.
recording secretary. So that it
Knows what they're doing.
these can take notes and write it.
I'll make a motion, we approve the planning commission dates and times.
Troy has made that motion,
I'll second it.
and Kelly has seconded it. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, now we're down to Troy's got 3 or 4 things. Depository list for 2024.
Yeah, this is our same depository list, other than I did add Consumers Credit Union, they came in,
What's it called?
Consumers Credit Union, they came in courting us, because they have some good CD rates.
What is it?
I think their closest branch is in Lansing, but
Okay.
anyway, I added them to the list just in case something works out there, so.
Okay.
Make a motion, we approve the depository list?
All right, I'll second. Butch will second it, okay. Roll call vote, Kelly?
Francis Griffith.
Yes.
Kelly Schmidt, yes. Trey Harmely.
Yes.
Mark Foltz.
Yes.
Mark Frazier.
No.
No?
He said no.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I just,
Okay,
I
no problem.
He hates
said
Huntington.
2 years
He
ago, I
hates Huntington.
remember
object to Huntington.
I
Okay,
remember
so
that.
you were a no.
I was a no.
He's a no. I think you did that last year.
Yep.
Okay.
2023, 2024 year-end budget adjustments. Troy's got 2 or 3 of them.
Okay, so you should have a sheet in front of you with them listed. First one will be for the perpetual care fund. This is an adjustment we commonly have to make every year. I don't know what the dollar amount is because I won't know until the close of business on March 31st, but this is if our treasury bonds lose present day value, even though we aren't losing anything because we're not selling them, we have to recognize that. So that is what we have to recognize the value at the end of the fiscal year. Again, we aren't actually losing money because we're not selling them. Next one would be the sewer fund, that our flow meter installation is going to go over a little bit. So we had 10,000 budgeted, we're going to have to increase that to 12.5. And then the last one is for the general fund, and we're not over on this, and we may not be, but I just want to be covered in case we are for the cemetery. We're going to be a little tight there, and so, but we're over on grave openings substantially, but that's income coming in and out, so that's adjusting the income line and then the expense line.
Okay.
Pretty simple ones.
What's the board's pleasure?
Approve
Mark?
the budget amendments.
Mark is going to make that motion. I'll second it. Roll call vote, Kelly?
Trey Harmely.
Yes.
Mark Foltz.
Yes.
Mark Frazier.
Yes.
Francis Griffith. Kelly Schmidt, yes.
Okay. Troy's going to go there.
Yep. So year-end transfers, so we had in our budget for this fiscal year, we had 173,000 budgeted for road projects, which we knew we were, what we didn't know was the timing of the Morris Road project and stuff, right?
Right.
And now that's moved out another year there. So my proposal would be to transfer that difference, which is $94,000 at the end of this fiscal year to our road fund, which is our savings account for roads. So we have, that'll give us 300 and some thousand available next year to then tap in to do these big projects.
I'll second.
Okay.
Who made the motion, Kelly?
Troy.
Oh, Troy.
Okay, I made that
Troy.
motion.
Okay, so where was it coming from again?
Transferring $94,000 from the general fund to the road fund.
Troy made a motion, Mark seconded the motion with that, okay? And when she gets caught up, we'll
Ready?
have her do a roll call vote.
Yep. Kelly Schmidt. Yes. Trey Harmely.
Yes.
Mark Foltz.
Yes.
Mark Frazier.
Yes.
Francis Griffith.
Yes.
Okay, Troy's got one more, Clifford Field Special Assessment for the lights.
So in March of every year is when if we have to review the amount we assess for the Clifford Fields special assessment lights. Right now it's at $55 a parcel, which is going to be very, very tight for this next year. I propose we just raise it $2.
Okay.
A lot. That's $2 for the entire year, right? I mean, this isn't much. Just to make sure we stay ahead of it. So I will make a motion that we raise the Clifford Fields light special assessment for the winter 2024 taxes from 55 to 57 per month.
Second.
Okay, Mark is seconding. Okay, Troy's made a motion, Mark is seconding, increase it $2. Kelly?
Trey Harmely.
Yes.
Mark Foltz.
Yes.
Mark Frazier.
Yes.
Francis Griffith.
Yes.
Kelly Schmidt, yes.
Okay, our cemetery is last on the list, and Kelly's got a couple of things to go through.
Yeah, so I gave you a packet. The first sheet on top is I told Mike to mark what he thought we needed to change. He wanted to make some changes to his contract before he signed it. So the first sheet is what he marked up that I gave you. The second sheet is the proposed, what I propose that we do. And the stuff in red are the changes. So I propose that we raise the non-resident grave rate to $600.
Say again, Kelly, I'm sorry. You propose what?
The red, on your red. We raise the non-resident grave rate from 500 to 600.
And how does that compare in the area?
So you've got those sheets too.
Okay.
So Victor Township, their current resident rate is 300, non-resident rate is 1,000. Locke Township is at $350. And then Williamstown Township is 800 for resident and 1,200 for non-resident. So I recommend that we increase the non-resident grave rate to 600 and put that extra $100 into our perpetual care.
Oh. Maintenance.
Sure. I mean, we had a discussion earlier, you know, about all this and the resident and the non-resident rates. I mean, at the end of the day, and by the way, resident counts, taxpayer counts as the resident rate. All right, so if you own property here but didn't live here, you get the resident rate. So it means you live here or pay taxes here. That counts. I mean, because you know, that cemetery costs 70 grand a year to run, and that's subsidized by the taxpayers of this township. So it's fair that they get a break compared to someone who is not.
So the foundations is what he was really interested in changing. He recommended or proposed that we change the opening and closings, the winter and summer months. He wanted to go from April 1st to October 31st.
A month off.
But
Oh, but
we
you know what it is.
we don't freeze and we don't freeze in November usually. So I think we should just leave them the way they are.
Okay.
But that was one of his things that he proposed. And then when it came to foundations, we asked him basically what he thought each individual size was worth him to do. And so he told us. So he will be, see, that's this page right here. The Sexton's Foundations Installation Fee Guide. Residents' fees for a 12 by 24 would be $130. A non-resident is $175. The sexton would be paid $130. And it just goes down like that. And for the non-residents, it would be way over to the right-hand side would be the amount of money that we would recoup for non-resident foundations.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I increased the 4-inch thick. It was 30 cents a square foot for a resident for 4-inch and 45. So it was 30 and 45.
Right.
And I raised it to 45 and 60. And then the 6-inch I raised from, it was
40.
And 55. I raised it to 55 and 65.
Okay.
Which are still pretty reasonable compared to the other townships. I guess Victor Township charges a flat rate of 40 cents a square inch. Locke Township, they charge 15 cents per square inch, and Williamstown, for residents, they charge 60, and non-residents, they charge $1 per square inch. So.
Is that all that changes?
Huh?
Is that all that changes?
That's all the changes. Everything in red are the changes, yep.
I make a motion that we accept the changes as proposed to the rates for the cemetery.
Mark's making a proposal to accept the changes as identified by the clerk, and Butch will second that motion in its entirety. Kelly, when you get ready. Your last roll call vote.
Yeah.
No?
Not the last one,
We got
there's
one
one
more.
more.
We got one more?
Yeah,
All right.
one more.
Okay.
Mark Frazier,
Yes.
Francis Griffin,
Yes.
Kelly Schmidt, yes, Trey Perlman,
Yes.
Mark Foltz.
Yes. Okay, still dealing with these cemetery. We're going to save the cemetery, the best for last.
The reason why I wanted to talk about the rates first is because in his contract incorporates those rates.
Oh, in the existing.
So it's basically changes for the foundations for his contract and also his increase for
A monthly
the
retainer.
monthly retainer.
Now, on number 7, Kelly, should we just strike the two line, I mean, we have resident and non-resident? Shouldn't we just say foundation, because we're paying him by the foundation,
We could.
not, you know,
Non-resident and resident.
right, because that doesn't matter to
Where are you
him,
at?
right?
7? Oh,
Yes.
7. I would propose we do that.
Just to clean it up. He is paid, it doesn't matter to him whether they live here or don't.
True.
That's our fee schedule.
Yeah, he's making them up in advance.
Right, but I mean, that's,
But does he have any input into how the bill gets, whether it's a resident or non-resident? or-
no, we do, you have to come here and pay the
Okay,
foundation.
so he really will have no input.
No, he doesn't, it doesn't affect
Just
him.
making sure.
Some, I don't know, we did this a few years ago and I don't remember why exactly, but
So you'll just clean it up a little bit.
we're just gonna clean it up.
It'll say the same, it'll be the same.
So
it's
it'll just, that, you
the
know, this
words
is
will be
what we
less.
pay.
All right.
But everything else looked
Okay, I'll
okay.
make a motion to accept his agreement. When does it take effect? Today?
Yep.
Today or tomorrow? Not tomorrow.
Today after we vote, or when he signs it.
How about tomorrow? Is he going to sign
Well,
it today?
doesn't, hold on, doesn't it, don't we want it to start April 1st?
Huh?
You want April 1st?
Well, because we're not changing the 1,900 a month till,
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Okay, so I'm glad I
April.
said something. I
Yeah.
wasn't being smart. I was just. Okay, so
April
we're going to
1.
start April. I think we should start Mike's
Okay.
contract April 1st. I really do.
Okay, sure.
2024.
Yep.
All right. The board, what's your
Who
pleasure?
seconded?
Sure.
Who seconded?
Oh,
Who made the motion?
You did?
Oh, yeah, I did make the
I'll
motion.
second.
Yeah.
All right.
Butch, Troy seconded. Any discussion? Mark, Butch. Okay, everything good?
Yep.
All right, Kelly.
All right,
Your
Mark,
last roll call vote for the night.
Mark Foltz,
Yes.
Mark Frazier,
yes.
Francis Griffin,
Yes.
Kelly Schmidt, yes, Trey Perlman.
yes.
All right.
Okay, Township, Perry, Township.
Motion to
2024.
adjourn.
What time is it?
8:03.
I'll
That's
second it.
good. 8:03?
Yeah, we didn't do too bad.
Okay, check. Okay, all in favor of leaving?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, okay.